A very good morning, Dr. Ghosh, Shada ma'am, respected core team members, and all you lovely teachers. Once again, the General English Proficiency Course teachers, Batch 3, are here to give a presentation. In the words of Samuel Johnson, he said, "Great works are not accomplished by strength, but by perseverance." And these teachers are here to give an example of their perseverance. Today, they are here to give not only a presentation, but build their confidence in public speaking. When these teachers joined the course, they joined with the sole aim of having the guts, the energy, and the enthusiasm to appear in front of a large audience. So today, they are here, once again I would say, to give a presentation on their poetical journey. It's a poetical recitation which encompasses various poets, starting from the Bard of Avon, that is William Shakespeare, also American poets, and our national poet, Gurudev, Sabrikri Rabindranath Tagore. These poems that they have covered are from different genres, and they will depict the human cycle of birth to death. How a man enters the cycle of this life, starts off with the age of infancy, goes up to schooling, and then performs his duties towards his motherland, and then finally exits the stage of life. So let's welcome our first speaker, Miss Akshada, and what she has to present before us. So please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Good morning, one and all. One of the greatest playwrights of all the time, William Shakespeare, said, "All the world's a stage." In his play, As You Like It, let's see how mannered goes 7 stages and life comes a full circle. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts spin 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with woeful ballad, made to his mistress's eyebrows. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths, bearded like pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble repetition even in the cannon's mouth.
I will protect my country at any cost. Jai Hind.
And then a guest is, even of a round belly, with good cape and line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of voice sauce and modern essences, and so he plays his part.
Do this, don't do that. Rise to every challenge.
The 6th stage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloons, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful horse, well set, a boy to guide. For his snub shine, and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles and sound.
I can't find my medicine. I can't find my medicine. My knees are paining. My knees are paining.
Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Saw teeth, saw eyes, saw text, saw everything.
I can't walk. I can't see anything. I can't taste anything.
These are the 7 stages of a man.
And if God created man with 7 stages, He also created a fearsome beast like tiger. Only God, the strongest and the most capable, could create such an animal. William Blake put it majestically. Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame the fearful cemetery? In what distant deeper skies burn the fire of thy night? On what wing dare he spires? What the hand dare sneeze the fire? What shoulder and what art could twist the sinew of thy heart? When thy heart began to beat, what red hand and what red feet? When the stars threw down their spears and water heavens with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make these? Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame the fearful cemetery? From the creation of the tiger and the lamb, God also created a beautiful nature. From the dreadful deeds to the beautiful flower, God created it all.
When William Wordsworth walked by the beautiful Ullswater Lake in Scotland, he found the beauty of golden daffodils. Extremely mesmerizing, he composed a poem. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats high over vales and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretch in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. For often when on my couch I lie, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and my heart with pleasure fills and dances with golden daffodils. The very sight of daffodils made poet happy and cheerful again.
The stormy day of 1802, when Wordsworth wrote Daffodils, could any time turn to a torrential downpour. In other words, there could be rains then, and there are rains now. And you know how the rains look, especially during the night. In the words of Irene Thompson, any one of us would relate with her. At least, I would. I like the town on rainy nights when everything is wet, when all the town has magical lights and streets of shining jet. When all the rain about the town is like a looking glass, and all the lights are upside down below me as I pass, and all the pools are velvet skies, and down the dazzling streets, a fairy city gleams and lies in beauty at my feet. Rainy season redeems my favorite street, and I love the rainy nights.
You love the rains, and you know what, Shailesh? I love the winter, snowfall. Just in the words of Robert Frost, how he captured the beauty of nature in his poem, Stopping by the Woods. When the traveler returns home with his horse, he finds it's very strange to stop in the middle of snowy forest. There is no farmhouse near, and he shakes his bells to alarm his master. Stopping by the woods. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it's strange to stop without a farmhouse. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound the sweep of easy wind and downy flesh. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. At times, carried by worldly pleasure and forget about my goals. Dear friends, we all have miles to go before we sleep, miles to go before we sleep.
Yes, we have our duties toward ourselves, our family, our state, and above all towards our country. Speaking about country, let me tell you our motherland, India. Ours is a land of sages, known for bravery for ages. None can with it compete. All culture none can beat. Whatever caste or religion, all live here in unison with rivers, sweet fountains. It's a land of high mountains. Its green forests are pretty and our source of prosperity. Let's for it work hard, for its safety be on guard. So, let us protect our country by doing our bit. Let us make with it the land of Rabindranath Tagore's dream. Thank you.
Yes, Rabindranath Tagore is Gurudev's version of India. A beautiful India, where not only India is free, where the mind is without fear, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into the fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into dreaded razor, sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom my father lets my country away. This is the kind of India we want. We all want, don't we?
With this, we end our short presentation. On behalf of GEP member of Batch 3, I take this opportunity to thank Ekta ma'am for training us, and this would not have been possible without Shada ma'am and Dr. Ghosh to providing us this professional development course. Thank you so much.
Hope you all liked the presentation. Let's have a big round of applause for all these teachers. And every teacher worked really hard. They were extremely nervous when I first gave them the poems initially. They said that we will not be able to speak in front, and that too without paper, it's impossible. So I had to really coax them and go to that limit to stretch their own boundaries. And that is what they have proved. I thought even a single mistake would be there and that would be my failure. But I am so happy that they have done me really proud. I'm so happy. Congratulations to each one of you. As Sir says, perfection has no limits. We have miles to go before we sleep and miles to go before we sleep. Thank you so much. Now may I please call Dr. Ghosh to express his words of wisdom.
There's a beautiful statement. It says that so long as I live, that long as I learn. Very nice to see that Shauda ma'am with the core team, Ekta ma'am's entire beautiful effort. That what has happened to each one of them who has come and not just given a display of their skill, but it is a concept of knowledge. We all had learned in the schools. We had learned how to write, learned how to read. We had learned how to do 2 + 2 and 2 to the 4. But have you noticed you've forgotten 18 nines? We had learned them. We learned how to write. Have you noticed we don't like to write? We had started a long time ago, exciting teachers, start writing in a holiday, write something, anything. But why is it a block, and what is beautiful, a concept that you all are understanding now, that these, I would say, very brave men and women who have come down and showed it to you, that they have started their journey. And they had learned many things. Each one of them were good in something or the other. But there is that concept of a graduation or a PhD or a master degree or a specialist engineer or a doctor is what? It's going to limit. But this journey shows there is no limit. So my request to each one of you, congratulations, that you should continue to learn. There is no stoppage. And the courage that they have displayed, most importantly, what I noticed beautifully, and which is what I keep talking to Sharda ma'am and telling her, that when I see this PYP5 and the MYP5, when they are during the exhibitions and when they do their valedictory ceremonies, so beautiful to see that they don't make a mistake. I didn't see them making any mistake. Of course, I'm not a vulture. The vultures always look for mistakes. But I'm honest. Like, you're a man, you're a man. You're a woman, you're a woman. If you have mistakes, it has got mistakes. So what we have to do? Keep correcting it. So I want to take you all to, you will say, oh my God, again? To meditation. Why is it so difficult for people to meditate? You know why? There are two reasons. First is, you don't want any disturbances from outside. So if you go to a beautiful mountain, a beautiful river, you're sitting in a boat in the middle of an ocean, you automatically become calm and quiet. But there is so many disturbances around, you will say, can't you see I'm meditating? Stop bothering me. That's the first reason. And the second reason is, you say after meditation you will become calm and quiet, you will become peaceful and happy, and you will attain oneness with the Supreme Creator. But where? When I sit down, millions of thoughts are bombarding my head, which I was not thinking before. That is primarily for one reason, is that you don't dwell down deeper into your mind. And the moment you start doing it, like you got a bucket of, let's say, Ganga Pani. We pick it up, we worship that water, we keep it for those who believe in the Ganges. Sharda ma'am had Ganges water were close to 20 years old. And it is still perfect, it's drinkable. It doesn't get spoiled. That Ganges water with the little mud which is there, if you just stir it, what happens? That powerful Ganges water brings up mud now on top. And now you don't want to drink. And that's what happens and why you don't want to meditate. So, ancient masters have talked about, you must be saying, thank God he's not talking about meditation anymore. Ancient masters said, listen, you don't want to meditate, don't meditate. He took on the path of work. Work for God. Whatever you do, work for God. Not work for yourself to earn money, a higher pay, or a Harvard degree so that I can become the president. You don't want to do that. Too boring. Too much of hard work. Okay, then take on the path of knowledge. Start learning. What? First yourself. Who am I? Am I this little body living in little 2 houses here and 2 houses in France or America? No, I'm not. So who am I? What am I? Now this journey starts off with the path of knowledge, which you just saw a little bit. Now each one of them have discovered that they were not, let's say, the Mohini ma'am or Nadeem sir or Sailesh that they suddenly presented to you. Each one of you must have said, wow, they can also do that. Now that discovery is the path of knowledge. Don't let it deter you. Don't let it stop you and say, okay, I've got a PhD now. Doctor so-and-so, I forget about it. It's just the beginning. And you find it is too hard work? Okay, click on the path of love. Have you noticed the same girl, the same boy who used to love buying and things and procuring for himself, right from the stepping into the teenager, even before that and continuing, and suddenly they get married and they start loving the other person almost as good as they love themselves. Not really, because if they do, they become Buddha. But on that journey, and then they have a baby. Have you noticed? Suddenly the mother finds everything else that she loves is for the baby. That goal for which she was chasing for all the time and the diamond, she keeps it quietly for, this is my daughter's marriage. So when you take up this path of love, then you're in the supreme. What is that supreme path? Today, as a teacher, you first love yourself, and that's not this body. You love this concept of learning, concept of understanding. Now, when you take on the love of learning, love of teaching, love of being the best teacher I could ever become, not compared to so-and-so or so-and-so or so-and-so. That's like becoming first and second and third or scoring 90% or 100%. But that's again limited. 100% is limited. Infinite learning is IB, is Vedanta. And love for that learning. I want to learn. Whatever I'm doing, let's say I'm maintaining an account for the parental money. I must do that perfectly and learn more to contribute more. There's a beautiful story. Why is this love? You see, there are two understanding. One, supposing you got a thorn in your flesh, under your foot. So what do? You're in the jungle. There's no needle or a scalpel or something to pull it out. So what do? You take another thorn. And you use I don't know if you all have seen it, we used to do it in our childhood. You take the thorn and pull out that other thorn, and then what do? Keep the other thorn in your pocket, you throw both of them away. So the path of work, path of knowledge, path of karma, they all come to an end where you know who you are and then you throw them away like the thorn. You don't hold on to it. But notice, mommy and daddy got married and they had a baby. They start loving that baby more than themselves. Do they throw away the baby? So the path of love is infinite. A beautiful Vedantic story is called the Holy Beggar, Holy Bhikshu. Comes to your home. Bhiksham Dehi, you give him something. Next day he comes, he says, I have no place to sit. May I come and just sit here for a while? To you naturally, holy beggar, nice looking, good smile, kind, you say, please sit. After a while he says, see, sir, I like to stretch my leg. Can I stretch my leg a little bit? Then naturally, you're kind, wise, good person. You say, sure, go ahead. After a while he says, can I lie down? Say, okay. Now he's a holy bhikshu. After that he says, listen, I need one corner in your house where I want to bring my god, my goddess, a little statue. You say, sure, please go ahead. After a while he says, but see, God is here now, we have to give him some prasadam, no? So I need a little part of your kitchen. This is called love for learning. And slowly, he takes over your whole house because you love learning. Because you love your baby becomes whole of you. And now you forget about yourself, and all you're trying to do, how can my baby become PhD? How can my baby become a great master? Not me anymore. And that's the path of the learning which is beautifully displayed to each one of you. I would request everyone, take on this called concept. 430 AD, Socrates was born. And 399 AD, Shadamam found out all these beautiful details we were talking about it. He left his body, only at 31 years of age. And he learned so much. He talked to everybody. Look at these. They started talking about some superior sense. How many of you read a poem, say, in the last 30 years? How many of you made an effort to write something? Think about it. Take it up. Okay? Thank you very much. It was very nice. Well done, team.